So this is a fun one. Please play along with this. Which Prem club has the best branding, the best style? Who is marketing themselves the best in 2025-26? We've got the Prem starting at the weekend, and I saw an article when they were ranking shirts, the home and away shirts for this season, and I thought I can go one step better here. Let's talk about branding as a whole. We'll rate the shirts out of 5 stars, home and away, and rate their current logo as well out of 5, giving them an overall score out of 15 for their brand. Who's got the best in my opinion, but I'd love to know what yours is, because of course it's incredibly subjective, but there are some principles as well that you can stick to. Of course, it's got to look good. It's just got to appeal to your sense of style. Do you want to wear it? And of course, selling shirts is big business. So let's get straight into it with Bath, the home kit. A standard traditional blue, black and white stripes. Of course, in rugby union, it's the horizontal stripes you tend to see. In football, it's vertical stripes. In rugby league, it's the V. It just tends to be the way. It's interesting how that went. And of course, it's kind of following on with what happened in the public schools and the old boys setting up their clubs. But yeah, blue, black and white for Bath. This is a standard affair here. We've got a slightly wider blue band because they're more associated with blue, I guess. Also, let's mention the sponsor, Dyson. It looks cool. If a sponsor looks cool, it actually helps to the sale of the shirt, I think. And also, this is one of many shirts that are Castore. Of course, England now, the Castore as well. They kind of came up from nothing. They had loads of backing and they just went as big as possible and put in some really good offers to clubs like Bath, to England, to try and get their brand recognition out there. Very clever, and they've really made a space in the kit industry. The home one, there's not much not to like. It's a good standard clean kit. The away one is just a bit wishy-washy and actually says Wash G1 on it, something to do with Dyson. It's all white with a little bit of detail, some funny swooshes. Doesn't seem to have too much ingenuity there, but it's clean enough. It's nice, I guess, but pretty boring. So for me, a 3 for the standard home kit. No, I like that. I think fans are definitely going to buy it. The away kit, I could see them giving this one a miss, so I'll go for a 1 star there. Then let's talk about the logo. Now, whether you like it or not, teams have started to change their traditional crests. Now, this is largely not because they don't like history, it's just because they want brand recognition. You can glance at the badge and you know what it is straight away. And the crests, they were just too fiddly. Sometimes when they were embroidered, it was just really hard to tell what was what. And at a glance, you don't really know what it is. When I played in the year 2000 for Bath Academy, they already had the circle. I haven't actually looked up when it came in, but I think they were one of the first to go for it. And the Bath rugby is very big there in the gold. It's very cool. And we've got a sword, we've got a rugby ball. In fact, if you asked non-Bath fans what was actually in the crest, they probably wouldn't be able to tell you, but they would recognise the circle. I've got a feeling they might go for another iteration and actually simplify that centre bit, but certainly the circle and the big Bath rugby are the main points there. It's a decent effort there. I really appreciate they're one of the forerunners in trying to simplify the logo, make it have good recognition from a distance of just a snapshot. So a good 3 out of 10 there, giving them an overall of 7. Then moving on to Bristol. Now, these were the 2 academies I played for, hence in the background I have the crest actually. I don't really mention it, but that is why. And the Bristol crest at the time that I played for them was still the old crest. It's a really nice crest. We've kind of got unicorn things on the side. We've got coats of arms. You know, it's a trade city, so you've got the water there, castles, balloon, all sorts going on. It's pretty cool, but goodness me, it's very, very messy, if you like. It's hard to tell what it is at a glance, and the embroidery is really tricky as well, very fiddly. Probably costs quite a lot to embroider, so they changed that fairly recently. And on the home and away shirt, you can see the bear. They are now the Bristol Bears, of course, and we'll come to the logo in detail. But this home shirt, I really like it. 2 types of blue. We've got the pinstripe white going across, a little bit of extra detail, and the logo pops. They've kind of got it surrounded by white as well. And to be honest, it helps that the actual photo is really cool with that blue background as well. I like it a lot. But away kit, it's again pretty boring. Standard white with a little bit of blue. Doesn't really capture the imagination. Again, inoffensive, but I think you'd be buying the home kit with this one, similar to Bath. So I would give it a 4 for the home kit. But again, I'm just not feeling the away kit. Maybe a bit harsh, but I'm giving that a 1. Then let's look at this logo, the new logo, and I think they've nailed it, to be honest. Now, there is a decent argument that they've just ditched their history completely. There's nothing from that original badge left, the original crest, but if you're going to just look at it from a marketing point of view, It's a really good logo. Whoever designed it, it's a mean looking bear, kind of in silhouette. It's really intimidating, really recognisable. They've got Bristol there, but the Bears bit really pops. So you've got the bear, you've got the Bear's name. It's good font as well. I love this logo. I think it's really smart for modern logos. Again, if you hate the way they've got rid of the old crest, I understand it, but just from a marketing point of view, this is really smart. 5 stars for me, so total of 10. Then let's go on to Exeter. This is just a standard black and white, the home and away. It looks okay. The best bit is the socks, really, with the Chiefs down the socks. It's fairly boring. Now, we've got another Castore brand here. We've got another Castore kit here as well, just showing how much they're taking over rugby, doing a really good job, or they're probably actually undercutting the opposition to get in there, so we'll see if that pays off for them. We don't know their financials. The sponsor's a little bit odd on the shirt there, the Seeker sponsor, which, like I said, does have a bit of an impact, I guess, but it's just black, it's just white. It's okay. What can you do? 1 star each. I'm not overly impressed with it, so could go 2, but I've done 1 with the other plain one, so I'm just going with that. Then let's have a look at the logo, and the logo, very interesting. They went to Exeter Chiefs quite early with the old Chiefs logo, and then they went to a bit more of an appropriate logo, I guess, having a local chief, Cornwall, Devon sort of chief, which makes much more sense. It's a really strong logo. I always thought it looked like Jack Noel. I don't know if they modelled it on him. I think it's just meant to be a chieftain. Exeter Chiefs Rugby, nice logo, got the Chiefs underneath. It's definitely a solid 4 stars out of 5. Giving them a total of 6. Then we go on to Gloucester Rugby. Gloucester again, traditional cherry and white. Red and white really pops, and it is luck really what your traditional colours are. Gloucester have kind of lucked out here with red, white and a bit of black. It works. It's a great combination. No clashes there. Contrasting. And they've got kind of that chevron-y, wavy detail in the white as well. It's really nice. Big Doug sounds like a big hard sponsor as well, which kind of helps. It's a Macron shirt. I think it's really clean. It's really nice. It appeals to me a lot. And I quite like the away shirt as well. It's a bit different. I wouldn't say it's amazing, but definitely a little bit different. Lots of detail in the blue. It's a nice blue. Blue always wins for me as a colour, so I'm going to go for a 4 stars for both. Maybe I'm overdoing it there a little bit, but I just like them. I could see myself buying that if I wanted to buy a shirt. Let's have a look at the logo. Again, they simplified. They got rid of their crest. Many people wouldn't have liked it at the time. They've kept a tiny touch of history there with 1873, the founding date, but it is a lion there. They haven't called themselves Gloucester Lions. Maybe they should have, I don't know, but they've got the crest of the lion, red and white, nice and clean, nice and simple for a modern logo. Can't go too wrong with it, so I'm giving it a 5 stars. 14 there, a really strong score for Gloucester. I just like it just appeals to me. Then on to Harlequins. Harlequins have always been a little bit of an outlier here because of their checker pattern, because of the quarters. Some teams have quarters. Historically, Harlequins one of them. And the colours really work. They're random colours, really. The red, the blue, whatever that browny colour is there is a bit weird. You've got black arms, you've got green. It's kind of all over the place, but it really works. It always has. I don't think this is the best home shirt. I think I like the one where they had the outline of London skyline in it. This one's kind of got lightning strikes in it, which is a nice idea. Another Castore, of course, but the home shirts are always good. They're iconic. But the away, this could be a love or hate. And I love it. I really like it. It's bold. Only really a team like Harlequins can get away with these reds and pinks. Stade Francais Harlequins, they kind of flamboyant clubs in the capitals. I think they can get away with this sort of thing. The DHL logo really works with that red and pink. And also the thing I couldn't help thinking is that shirt would have really helped when Bloodgate was on because they couldn't tell. I joke, but it's an interesting one there with the blood splatters. It's whatever those splatters are. I really like it. Just that's how I think about it. So 3 for the standard home shirt and 4 for the funky away shirt. Let's have a look at the logo. The Harlequins logo was ahead of its time. It was very different. It didn't have a crest or anything like that. It had the Harlequin there dancing or whatever he's doing. But maybe, just maybe, it's due a slight rebrand because it is quite tall and skinny. It is a kind of sort of logo you have to squint at a little bit. You look at it there on the shirt and it doesn't quite pop. maybe they could just bring it into a bit more of a modern time, maybe just focusing on the head or a certain part of the Harlequin and making it just pop a little bit more. You've kind of got that Harlequin mask, which is quite cool. So I might say they could simplify it a bit and make it a bit bolder so you can see it and recognise the brand even simpler. But kind of the colours do that, I guess. But logo-wise, it's okay. A 3 out of 5. So total there of 7, 8, 9, 10. There you go. I can add up 10 out of 15. Then on to Leicester Tigers. Of course, they're another team that moved away from the crest. They gave themselves an animal name, the Tiger. It works well because tiger stripes, they have the stripes, the red, green and white, but they don't have the stripes in the home kit. So I'm not a massive fan of that. I think the home kit probably needs to be a bit more traditional with the stripes. So it's okay, it's a decent shirt, it's not that bad. Another Castore, but it's not overly exciting, and I probably would prefer the stripes to go with Leicester Tigers, so that's okay. The away one, an interesting green, definitely a different sort of take there. It works for Leicester, I think. Green, red and white aren't the best colours for me. They don't really make you excited particularly, but they're traditional and you kind of are left with the colours that are the traditional colours. So not massively a fan of that colour combo, but they do it fairly well. But I would like the stripes really on home. So 1 for the home, 2 for away. You've got the good recognisable tiger head there. You've got the crest, you've got the colours. Actually, just looking at it now, maybe the Leicester Tigers bit could be a bit bigger actually, but I'm going to give the logo a solid 4 out of 5. Not quite 5 because I think the name could be a bit bigger. You have to squint to read Leicester Tigers. Maybe they could just have Tigers really big there. They've also got the date when it was founded, 1880, but again, that's really small, but I think it's a strong logo. You've got the colours in kind of a crest. That's a 4 out of 5. Then onto the really interesting case of Newcastle Red Bulls. Now, Red Bull took over Newcastle at the 11th hour, and it does look like they've had to scramble out a kit. It's a lesser-known kit provider, VX3. Now, could they turn around a funky kit in a short amount of time? It doesn't look like it. What they've got going for them is, the Red Bull logo is synonymous with Red Bull. It's really recognisable, but the home kit is really boring. Of course, we've got the black of Newcastle, but 2 thin lines there. It's just a bit nothing, to be honest, just black shorts. The away kit, pretty funky, I guess. An interesting yellow design. Looks a bit football away in the 1980s, but it's okay and it works with the logo a bit better. So for this year's attempt, I think it's a 1 and a 2. I don't think you can give it much more than that. I'm sure they'll have better ones next year because Red Bull are all about presentation and being cool. But they've dropped the ball again on that logo. I mean, surely that was rushed. We've got Newcastle big, we've got Red Bull, the actual just normal Red Bull logo there, and that's the best bit about it. Then we've kind of got a rugby ball with a star. I mean, it is terrible. It's kind of like they've given a university student an afternoon to come up with something and they said, that'll do, slap it on a kit. They're rubbish anyway, it doesn't matter. I'm pretty sure they will redesign this logo if they weren't going to already. Everyone's been taking the mick out of it, so they definitely will respond to that and change it. That is an awful club crest. They can do so much better. So that's a 1 as well, of course. So that is a 4 out of 15. And considering how cool Red Bull branded sports teams are, for example, the F1 team, you can see how good they can look with those colours. You've got the yellow, the red, the blue. They look fantastic together. This is a very poor effort. They will do better. On to Northampton. Northampton, blue, yellow, green. They've kind of gone with that home combination for a while now with a wider green bands. They're not kind of evenly banded. It's fairly recognisable. It's okay. It's a standard home kit. The away kit I actually really like. I quite like the yellow. It kind of grows on me. You've got the cross in there from the new logo, so that's a pretty decent effort. So a 2 and a 3 there. And the logo. Again, gone away from the complicated crest from before, but it's pretty boring, to be honest. It's quite bold, it's simple, it's recognisable, but it is fairly dull. So I think a 3 out of 5 and 8 out of 15 overall. Then on to Sale Sharks. We've got the standard blue there, the home kit. I like navy blue, what can I say? So I'm always going to like a navy blue strip. It's not particularly special, it's not very exciting, but it's nothing not to like. The away kit is an interesting colour. What colour would you call that? Kind of maroon type colour with pinky bits in it. I'm not great with describing colours, but yeah, it's pretty odd, but it's interesting, I guess. So a 2 and a 2, I think there. Nothing particularly special from the Macron designs. The logo, they went to the Sharks fairly early, though before other teams did. And it's a good shark. It's a good design. Whoever designed that a long time ago did a great job. But on the shirts, we've got a slight change to that logo as well, I think. And there's no sail, there's no sharks there. It's just the fish. So it kind of looks a bit like a fishing jersey or something like that. So it's a little bit odd, to be honest. So I'm going to give it a 3 because it was ahead of its time. But again, just the shark, I'm not so sure about that. Then on to Saracens. I always find it quite a hard colour combination to go together. It's quite harsh, but they pride themselves on being a hard team. You've got Stonex, which sounds pretty hard as a sponsor as well. Another Castore as well. And they've blended the black into the red. It's pretty subtle. It looks a little bit like a leotard when it all blends into one. So not overly loving it, but again, it's pretty funky. So I think I'll give it a 3. And then the away kit is not quite a standard white. There is some pattern in there, so I think a 2 for that. They're okay, but the black and the red I just don't love as a combination anyway, so I think it would be hard to get a higher score for me personally. The logo, it's just a weird logo. Again, they went with this one a long time ago. If they were to do it again, I don't think they'd do that. I don't think they'd do the name either. It's a bit of a strange name. It's a bit of a strange logo for a rugby team, but it's a bit late to change the name, but they may well change the logo. I just don't think it's a great logo, to be honest, and that's a 1 out of 10 for me. So there we go. I had a lot of fun putting that video together. The winner is Gloucester. Maybe 14's a bit high, but still, if you dropped it down a couple of points, they'd still be winning. Bristol Bears there in second, along with Harlequins. Maybe Harlequins could just revamp that logo a touch. And then we have a few guys bringing up the rear in Saracens, and I just don't really like the colour combo or the logo. And I think Newcastle will do a lot better job next year with Red Bull having a full year to work on that one. So love to know what you think of the branding, of the kits, of the logos. Let me know down below. Do subscribe, do like if you're into these sorts of videos, and I'll catch you next time.